Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another brand new video. Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 and the WWE 2020 save rolls on once again. We're on the final leg of our Summerslam / NXT TakeOver 30. I now know the name tour. That's where we're at, and we're on the final week. So the final Raw, final NXT, final Smackdown, and main event NXT UK before the two pay-per-views coming to you this Sunday. A big pay-per-view episode coming to you this Sunday. Don't miss that. We're going to start though with Monday Night Raw. We didn't actually announce any matches last week for Monday Night Raw. It's one of the shows we didn't. We do have some matches in other shows which were announced last week, but we are just 6 days away from SummerSlam. And surely AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre, well, they can't touch, can they? Okay, we open the show with a good segment here, 80 rated segment to kick us off. 4 men involved, or 5 men technically. Let me talk you through what goes on here. So AJ Styles comes out and he gets on the mic and he says that he wants to deliver some home truths to Drew McIntyre. He says, I want to talk about the fact that before I got here, Drew McIntyre was meant to be the one. Drew McIntyre was meant to be the chosen one, the guy in this business. But do you know why Drew McIntyre is not the guy? He's not the WWE champion. He's not the main event week in, week out. Because he is lazy. Because he just does not have that it factor. That phenomenal factor that AJ Styles drips the phenomenal factor. I don't even know what that means, but he sort of really goes onto a tear of just to say that Drew McIntyre hasn't got a stitch on AJ Styles. That's how AJ sees it. He's truly trying to just wind him up good and proper because Drew can't touch him right now. So AJ can say what he wants and get away with it. It's sort of building towards SummerSlam as we go along. But instead of Drew McIntyre, out comes Kevin Owens. Owens looks ready for a fight. He gets on the mic. He says, right, you know what? Yeah, Drew can't touch you, but you are pissing me off. You know who can touch you? Me. And Owens starts to make his way to the ring, to the WWE champion. Drew McIntyre can't do anything, of course. Drew McIntyre is at the back just watching on a monitor. Owens, as he's about to make his way to the ring, he hears voices in his head. Here comes Randy Orton looking to attack Kevin Owens. A 2-on-1 starts. But so Drew McIntyre comes running out there. Drew McIntyre taking out Randy Orton. Doesn't touch AJ Styles. Evens the odds. Vince McMahon is watching from the back. And he joins us out on the stage to say, you guys want to fight? Fine. Let's fight. Tonight. Main event. 2-on-2 tag team match. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens against AJ Styles and Randy Orton. AJ is freaking out in the ring saying that's not possible. It cannot happen. He has a contract. We'll get to that. 80 rated segment though. Pretty good start to the show. The opening contest is the United States champion in action. Andrade took on Akira Tozawa. And a 70 rated match from Akira Tozawa. Well done, Andrade. Impressive stuff. A 71 rate performance from the United States champion. Akira Tozawa, a 50. Holding it together too. 70. 3.5 stars. Good start to the show. And of course, you put over the United States champion going into the pay-per-view. He then gets on a mic, cutting a promo on Aleister Black. 68 for this, which, let's be honest, is still not that bad. That's pretty good. He struggled a little bit off script, but still a 68. So I will take that. Really, really, really good stuff. And then we go backstage where AJ Styles gets in to Vince McMahon's office. A 74 rated segment here. Pretty good here from AJ Styles complaining to Vince saying, I've got a contract. Drew McIntyre cannot touch me before the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. That is the deal. And Vince says, have a look at your contract again because I signed it, remember? I signed that contract. And he says, if you look in that small print, it says one thing. Drew McIntyre cannot touch you unless it is an official contest. Tonight is an official contest. The tag team match goes ahead. AJ is not happy, but we have our main event set. AJ and Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Going to be very interesting. 8-man tag here, 63 for this one. The Disciples on the same page, at least on paper. Murphy, Benjamin, Razor and Akam, of course AOP, and the tag champs against the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. But as you can see the finish here, Montez Ford pins Akam with the frog splash to get the victory. So 63. Let's have a look at this because this is quite interesting because Akam and Rizar 46 apiece, but then you've also got some really high performers. Ivar the best of the lot with a 63. Eric 58 is good. Tag champs sort of high 50s now, pretty good. And then Street Profits a similar thing. So this is pretty good stuff from the tag team division, but the finish is what's the interesting thing here. After last week where AOP and the Disciples got into a little bit of an argument, got into a bit of a fight last week, yeah, it comes back this week. Murphy and Benjamin leave AOP high and dry. They leave the contest and it means a 4-on-2 and the frog splash, and Akam is pinned. They're protected by the finish, hopefully. And yeah, AOP and the Disciples, well, they're not getting on, are they? Afterwards, in the ring, AOP and Disciples start arguing between the two of them, and Vince McMahon comes out again. He's all over this show today, and he says, you know what, you guys don't seem on the same page, but that's okay, because I liked what I saw just then, and I want to see what happens when you stick all 4 teams in the same ring, and you put the tag team championships on the line. A fatal 4-way tag team match at SummerSlam. It is the Viking Raiders versus the Street Profits versus the Disciples versus AOP at SummerSlam. 68 here for a Shayna Baszler promo on Becky Lynch, talking about like what she said on Main Event. She brought out the violence, but she's got a surprise for the Women's Champion tonight. She's got a plan to make sure she's as violent as she can be. 68 though, yeah, it's not bad. The match itself is Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. And the match itself gets us a 69. Still pretty good stuff here from the Raw Women's Division. Becky with a 71. Nia Jax with a 48. Meant a 69. And Becky Lynch defeats Nia Jax inside 15 minutes. A good win for the Women's Champion. She's on a roll into SummerSlam. But that's not the talking point, because as she's celebrating on the mic comes Shayna Baszler. Now, what's important to note here, I'm going to show you the segment rating, 84. Wow. What's important to note here is that before the match against Nia, Becky Lynch is going to go into the crowd and give the kiss to her mother. Her mother is here in the crowd today. Shayna Baszler knew that. Shayna Baszler, well, she had a plan, and she comes down and it looks like she's circling the ring. Becky's ready for a fight, but in fact Shayna is just getting as close as she can to Becky's mother, and she drags her over the top rope. Becky tries to get over but doesn't get there in time as Shayna nails a stiff elbow right into the face of Becky Lynch's mother. Becky runs her off, obviously, and Shayna is smirking and laughing on the stage as Becky is trying to look after her mother. But a real personal blow here from Shayna Baszler, just 6 days away from SummerSlam. Will Becky Lynch be in the right frame of mind to defend her Women's Championship at the pay-per-view? Seth Rollins got a promo on Edge for 74. He didn't do well without a script, but he also talks about the Disciples and the potential sort of breaking up of Murphy, Benjamin and AOP. He says he will deal with the Disciples after his match. But as far as Edge is concerned, I'm going to deal with you at SummerSlam, Sunshine. 74 is a pretty good promo from Seth Rollins. After that, we see Edge come out to do commentary. He's here as a special guest tonight. He's here to do commentary and scout Seth Rollins ahead of their matchup at SummerSlam. 71 for the mini appearance. And the match itself sees Seth beat Titus O'Neil for 75. Seth Rollins with an 80 rated performance has killed it here. And Titus with a 54. Not bad at all either. Really, really good Raw matchup. 15 minutes or so they got, and the pedigree does the business for the Monday Night Messiah. Now, of course, Edge was on commentary, and Seth invites him into the ring for a brawl. 84 rated segment again. Really good stuff tonight. Really, really, really good stuff. It ends with Seth hitting a really vicious chair shot to the back of the neck of Edge, where, of course, he's had all these issues. We know that, and we play off that. It's a chair shot that usually people are just, okay, it's a chair shot, and they end up carry on brawling. But this, with Edge, you play into it, and you go that Edge could be paralysed. Edge could be finished from that one chair shot. And then Corey Graves, or Samoa Joe, I suppose it is now on Raw, can turn around and go, well, if this is what Seth can do with one chair shot, what has Edge got coming to him at SummerSlam? And it's really laying this idea that Seth Rollins could really, really, really hurt Edge at SummerSlam. 84, though, for a very, Very good segment. Backstage, Becky is with her mother. She cuts a little bit of a promo on Shayna saying that she will get the sweetest of revenge. And don't worry, because the wrath of an Irishman is very, very vicious. Becky cuts the promo for 68, but really what she's doing there is helping her mum, who's sort of getting looked at by the doctor. She is okay. It was just an elbow. But, personal right now. Tag team action here on the lower mid card for Monday Night Raw. Cedric and Apollo Crews were in action, defeating the Forgotten Sons. That's Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, and they got at 58 out of the Forgotten Sons. That's really good. Interesting that Cedric and Apollo showed excellent chemistry when teaming together. That's something that we could do and put as a tag team in the Raw division. That's something that could work. I know Cedric has recently turned heel in real life. We don't have a Hurt Business, and that's something that we could start up as well. But 59 for Apollo, 61 for Cedric, and 33 and 31 apiece for the Forgotten Sons. Good lower mid-card stuff on Monday Night Raw. No issues with this whatsoever. 57 for this is not great. We go backstage for the angle for the Disciples. Now, Seth Rollins is talking, and AOP and the Disciples, Murphy and Benjamin, are in the same room. Seth Rollins is talking to them and says, listen, what the hell is going on? We need to be on the same page. We are brothers in arms, trying to improve this show, trying to improve this company, trying to make this company pure again. We can't do that if we're not on the same page. Now, I get that those tag team championships are coming between you. And I get that on Sunday, one of you two teams will walk away with the tag team championships. Nobody else will, because you guys are the best. But I don't really care which one of you do it. As long as those tag team championships stay with us. Now, I need something from you guys, because you're acting out. You're not doing as you're told. And last week, I ate a spear. For no reason. You were meant to be there, Murphy. You were meant to be there, Akam. Razor, you too. Shelton, mate. You were meant to be there and you weren't there. So I need a show of faith. So Akam, he gets tied up. Well, no. I mean, would it be too much to do the cross? It might be. Anyway, he gets tied up, and then Seth says to Murphy, whip. And he whips him properly like Roman punishment. Whip. Razor gets the same. But then AOP get their turn. Murphy and Benjamin also get whipped. It's getting a little bit cult-like between these guys. But a show of faith from AOP and Murphy and Benjamin here. And they all seem to be back on the same page going into SummerSlam. So yeah, the segment rating's a bit low. But we tried to get some stuff done here with the other guys, really. Aleister Black was in action against Brendan Fink for a 67. Really good from Aleister Black here. 68. Brendan Fink 42. So to get a 67 rated matchup out of Brendan Fink is very, very impressive. It says a Wari Death Foot Stomp. I need to change that, because it is the black mass that Aleister Black kills people with. That's what he does. He kills people. 67 though. After the match, out comes Andrade for one giant brawl before SummerSlam. And Andrade gets the best of this. And what's important to note here is that Andrade is working on the legs of Aleister Black. He knows what those feet can do. So he wants to take them out of the game at SummerSlam. The figure 4 around the ring post. Bret Hart style from Andrade here. And it's a real lasting message that Aleister Black may be weakened going into their United States Championship match at the biggest party of all the summers. Drew talks about the fact that AJ probably said a few things that were true earlier. He was meant to be the chosen one. He did let a lot of people down, but since then he's had his head on straight. He has had a hell of a run with his WWE Championship, and he wants it back. And at SummerSlam, he gets it back. Okay, the main event time should be a good one. Drew and Kevin Owens against Orton and Styles in the main event. They're going to get 20 odd minutes to have hopefully a good Raw matchup. It gets us a 75. So interesting that these four men have a tag team match that has the same amount of quality as Seth and Titus. Talk through the finish though. Drew McIntyre gets the pin on Randy Orton with a Scott drop, the Claymore kick, whatever you want to say. But as you can see there, bad communication between Orton and Styles. Orton and Styles aren't going to get on. They're both heels that just are looking out for themselves. And Styles in the end walks away from this one. Doesn't want anything to do with Drew McIntyre. Drew doesn't actually get his hands on AJ. You got to watch SummerSlam for that one. But Drew and Owens get the victory with the, Claymore kick. Randy Orton getting pinned. 74 from Owens, really good. Drew, the best of the lot with an 81. 76 from Orton and AJ Styles. 79 now. It's going to be interesting. I have written out a plan for SummerSlam and there is a main event in place. But it's going to be interesting. Do we go with AJ or Drew? Do we go with Braun and Bray? That's the two choices. I like the championship main event in, so we could go with Seth and Ed, but it's just not got the same main event feel. That gives us a 77 rated Raw. Pretty good stuff, really. 75 main event, but good stuff. This was a good run here. The women and Seth was on fire this week in particular. So really, really good stuff. And the mid-card stuff wasn't bad either. Good opening too. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. We'll move on to main event then. Raw and SmackDown. Two brands on one show. Let's see what we can pull off. Okay, the main event. Big potential main event anyway. Jeff Hardy will be taking on Jackson Ryker in the final match of the show, but we open up with tag team action. A Raw tag team versus a SmackDown tag team. Heavy Machinery are in action against Angel Garza and Austin Theory, who need a name. That stable needs a name, people. Help me out here. I need a name. That match then gets us a 61. Pretty good mid-card stuff here. Angel Garza was off his game, which is disappointing. 54 from him. You do expect a little bit better. Austin Theory, 59 though. Very good from him. Tucker, 54. And Otis was the best with a 61. Lana did good work at ringside. And it is Garza and Theory who get a big victory here, really. Angel Garza pinning Tucker. And you can say that Lana had a big part to play in the finish. She's out there now with this stable and seemingly doing some good work. We'll follow up on that later on. 61 though, pretty good start to the show. Liv Morgan cut a promo on Ruby Riott for 56. She says she's worthless and she's not worth her time anymore. She's not going to waste any time talking about Ruby Riott. She's not worth it. 56, good promo. Paige was out there, of course, and helped her to do that. Liv was in action next up though. It was originally going to be against Tamina of all people, but Tamina is now retired. Oh, what a shame. So instead, it looks like Mickie James will be the opponent. Mickie is still a heel apparently on this roster. I'll take it because there's not many heel women. So Mickie versus Liv gives us a 55. Okay, pretty good. Liv Morgan, 46. Mickie James, 53. And yeah, pretty good stuff. Natalya was out there at ringside too, alongside Paige, of course. So she's got two veterans right behind her, Liv Morgan, right now. And she defeated a veteran there. Mickie James beaten for a 55. Pretty good. We go backstage where Garza and Theory are thanking Lana for her help. 49, not great from Lana either. They say, welcome to the club. They fully open their arms to say Lana can help them now. Can be part of this stable. Garza and Theory are on board. Jeff Hardy cut a promo on Elias after getting beaten down by Elias and Cesaro last week. We said Elias, but Elias and Cesaro really. He got beaten down last week on SmackDown, and he says that this week on SmackDown he's gunning for the two of them. 68 ahead of the main event then. Jeff Hardy and Jackson Ryker. A 66, pretty good stuff. Jeff 62, Jackson Ryker 58, and a 66 overall. Pretty good stuff. Jackson Ryker though getting the victory over Jeff Hardy. A pretty big win that. Pretty big win on main event, so it may not count for as much. But Jackson Ryker gets the victory after interference from Elias, so it's definitely not clean either. Elias causing problems for Jeff Hardy once again. 66. And that gives us a 65 rated main event. That's kind of what you want for main event. Sounds daft, but good mid-card storyline progression and good character building stuff here. So I'm pleased. Okay, the final show before NXT TakeOver 30. I know the name now. I know the name. It's not Brooklyn. Although technically it kind of is Brooklyn. It's NXT TakeOver 30 and we are on a big week. We have a handicap match. Keith Lee against the Undisputed Era, not including Adam Cole, and that big tag match, Kushida and Tomasso Ciampa teaming up together against Johnny Gargano and Karrion Kross. Opponents on Sunday, opponents tonight. And of course, Dakota Kai, Mia Yim. Don't forget about that one. So lots to get through. We open up with Keith Lee making his way to the ring for a promo on Adam Cole. The promo gets us to 73, so a kick off with a big bang here. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Keith Lee vows to win the NXT Championship and complete his journey on Sunday. Ahead of that, then, we're going to open the show with that handicap match. Intrigued to see how this goes. because handicap matches I've never done on this game. Let's see what happens. It's Keith Lee against Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. Adam Cole will be watching on from the ramp. 73 for the promo, and the match itself is a 68, so that's still pretty good. Really good, actually. Handicap match. And as you can see by the finish here, Bobby Fish intentionally got disqualified. The Undisputed Era were not caring about winning this match. This was all about softening up Keith Lee ahead of Sunday, and that's what they went ahead to try and do. Keith Lee, 58. Kyle O'Reilly, 69, the best of the lot. Bobby Fish, 65, really good. Really should be using them in the tag division. I know that, and that is something I'm going to look at doing. Roderick Strong, 57 is pretty good as well. And yeah, good match. That's not all for the storyline, though. As afterwards, for a 67, Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era beat the crap out of Keith Lee. They leave him down, and Adam Cole gets a bit of a spray paint, NWO style, and just puts ACB. Adam Cole. You know what I'm saying. 67. Pretty good stuff. Backstage, William Regal has invited Tegan Nox to his office and says, Tegan, I know you want to get your hands on the women's champion Dakota Kai, but tonight you will not get that opportunity. Tonight you will not interfere. Do you understand? I am asking you, do not interfere in the matchup tonight between Dakota Kai and Mia Yim. I'm giving you this opportunity because I respect you. Don't make me regret it. A bit of a warning here from the NXT general manager, Tegan Nox. He knows she wants to get her hands on Dakota Kai, but he doesn't want his show and his matches that he's booked ruined tonight. 57 for the segment is pretty good for these lot. Grizzled Young Veterans defeat Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan in under 10 minutes. Zach Gibson with a punt kick did the business. 59 from him, 47 from James Drake, 35 from Oni, and 27 from Danny Burch. It is okay, could be worse, but a pretty good win for the tag team champions. Afterwards, as they are celebrating on the Titantron, the outcome on the Titantron, Breezango and the Fashion Files is back, ladies and gentlemen. And the cops that they are, Tyler Breeze and Fandango, are investigating claims that Zach Gibson has stolen from everybody. That's all you ever hear in the NXT UK crowd. Where's his wallet gone? Gibson's got his wallet. Well, and we see some footage, obviously doctored footage, of Zach Gibson stealing from an old woman. Unbelievable. What a bad guy. 60 for the segment rating. Fandango and Tyler Breeze having a bit of fun to enrage the champions just a few days before the big title fight. 60 is, pretty good. Not great here, 35, but we need to try and build them up, so they are going to have to sort of deal with these for now. Timothy Thatcher defeated Mansoor in 9 minutes. Thatcher 45, Mansoor 37. I'm surprised we got a 35, but pre-show workers, that's just going to have to be improved. I am tempted to mess with Timothy Thatcher's popularity. Let me know in the comments, would that be a bad thing? Because I don't know, seriously, 45 is not a bad performance in the end, but his pop is really bad. Finn Balor had a sit down interview talking about Matt Riddle, and he says, listen, let's talk about the fact that Matt Riddle is a former UFC star. He thinks he's Brock Lesnar, but he's not. He's not Brock Lesnar. He's not won the championships Brock Lesnar's won, because Balor has been in the ring with Brock Lesnar. He knows what it's like to be in the ring with a machine, a monster like that. And Matt Riddle is not that man. The thing is, Matt Riddle, you're not a UFC star. You're not a wrestling star. You're a failed MMA athlete. You're a failed wrestler and a failed drug test waiting to happen. Balor goes in on Matt Riddle. A little bit of a shot at the drugs as well. 81 for a good promo from Finn Balor. Women's division action here. Candice LeRae defeats Shotzi Blackheart in under 10 minutes with a balls plec. Yeah, okay, whatever. 55, that's pretty good. Candice, 53. Shotzi, 29. And must have had a good match together to boost it. Bonus by the announcer chemistry, which has really improved. Worker chemistry as well. These guys had good chemistry together. And pretty good stuff. Hot crowd too. 55, good stuff. Afterwards, of course, Johnny Gargano was out there with Candice LeRae, but here comes Kushida chasing down Gargano. He wants part of Gargano. Well, he wants to destroy Gargano, and he doesn't want to wait for the main event, that tag team matchup. So Kushida is running down to the ring. Gargano sees he's coming now and makes his escape through the crowd. These two will get their hands on each other tonight. Okay, we're starting off a new storyline here. As you can see, El Hijo del Fantasma defeated Joaquin Wilde here. So, of course, these guys in real life are now actually in the same stable together. You can see here, new stable storyline has started. I'm going to do that storyline. I really like the stable. I really do like the stable. El Hijo del Fantasma, or his name now, which always forgets me. I'm going to change it to, I'm going to go with what they've done in real life and sort of bridge it together because I think it's a good storyline. It's helping, El Hijo del Fantasma, it's helping Joaquin Wilde, it's helping Raul Mendoza, who's going to be introduced here. At the moment, these guys were opponents. El Hijo del Fantasma defeated Joaquin Wilde, though. 60 rated matchup is really good, actually. 51-56. So to get a 60 is really, really good. After the match, Joaquin Wilde is impressed and offers a handshake as a sign of respect. But El Hijo del Fantasma laughs it off and refuses the handshake. 26 for this. That's interesting. That has a really, really not done well. Interesting. But you get what I'm going with. Fantasma does not respect Joaquin Wilde. And he wants better for him, to be honest with you. We heard Balor earlier. Here's Riddle's sit-down interview for 73. It's really good stuff from Matt Riddle too. And he heard what Balor had to say earlier. And he says, right, if I'm a failure in all these things, let's talk about what you failed at. And that's the main roster. Yes, you was Universal Champion. But you couldn't go one day without losing that championship. And yes, you've been on the main roster. Yes, you've had title opportunities. But you've not been the star you're supposed to be. And you, with your tail between your legs, you came running back to NXT. But guess what, Finn? NXT has changed. Yes, you're going to be a big, big test. And yes, I know you're a threat. But you're not quite good enough to beat me. Strong words from Riddle. 73 is a really good promo from him. So I'm pleased with that. And now it's time for the Women's Champion to be in action. Dakota Kai versus Mia Yim. And we get a 54. So that's pretty good. Dakota 53. Mia Yim 53. Not bad at all. But as you can see, no clear winner as Tegan Nox got herself involved. She couldn't help herself. You can say that Tegan was getting sort of teased all the way through by Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez. And in the end, she had enough. She came out at ringside and ended up getting involved. No clear winner because, as you can say, sort of Tegan Nox is there. Mia Yim attacks Tegan, as does Dakota. Mia Yim not pleased with Tegan getting in her business. So, yeah, a brawl between all three women, really. 54, though, is okay. And afterwards, Big Bad Regal is not happy. 63 rate segment here. He gets to the mic. He says, Tegan, I told you. I asked you one thing and you couldn't do it. You had to get involved. You had to ruin a hell of a match and these guys needed a winner from. But guess what? You've gone and done it to yourself now. You've gone and done it to yourself as punishment for not doing what I asked of you as your general manager. If you don't beat Dakota Kai on Sunday, you will never get an opportunity against her again. Tegan is shell-shocked. A big match now on Sunday. Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. Tegan's final shot. Is she going to win the Women's Championship on Sunday? Main event then gets us a 77. A hell of a main event here. Helped by the fact that Johnny Gargano has put on a show here. As has Tomasso Ciampa. They're against each other, and of course it always works. Ciampa 75, Gargano 79, Kushida the weakest, Kross the weakest of the lot with 66, Kushida 67. So the two better workers are going to have good matches, hopefully, against people who are just below them, is the idea on Sunday. 77, though, really good stuff. The finish here, Kushida makes Gargano tap with a Kushida lock. You can say Ciampa and Kross brawl up the ramp, leaving just the two men, Gargano and Kushida makes the North American champion tap out. If that happens on Saturday, Sunday, whatever we want to say, we will have a new North American champion. That's the build we're going with. 77 for the main event gets us a 72 rated NXT. Good stuff. I am really, really pleased with that main event. It's been a really, really, really good main event. Considering we had a 35 and a 26, to still get a 72 shows that NXT right now is rolling. Can we roll through to the pay-per-view and put on a good show? I'm hoping we can. Okay, it's time for NXT UK, the one show that actually isn't building towards a pay-per-view, but we are got a big tag team match in the main event. Killian Dain will be teaming with Drake Maverick against Imperium. But don't forget about that Women's Championship tables match. Kaylee Ray against Martina is also tonight. We open up then with 6-man action. 39 for this is okay, but could be better. Flash Morgan Webster sustained a retracted index finger, which is a bit shame. And I think that's probably what's brought it down. But the Ojmo, Mark Andrews and Morgan Webster defeat Gabriel Kidd, Joseph Connors and Noam Dar. The Ojmo getting a victory over Gabriel Kidd. 47 for Morgan Webster, 48 for Andrews, 50 from the Ojmo is really good. Noam Dar 40, 33 from Connors and 28 from Gabriel Kidd. 39 seems a little bit harsh to me. I'd have thought sort of mid-40s. It could have been worse though, so I will take that. And a good win for the Ojmo. Post-match, as the faces are celebrating, here comes Rob Terry, who has had issues, of course, with the Ojmo of recent times. He comes out with a chair and he's ready to fight. And you know what? Because he's such a... well, I was going to swear there, but he's such a monster. He destroys all three men with a chair. They don't stand a chance. He's a monster without the chair, but with a chair, he's unstoppable. The Ojmo, Mark Andrews and Morgan Webster, all down from Big Rob Terry. 40 for the segment. Pretty good. Backstage, 33 for this. And we see two former Sanity members, Killian Dain and Alexander Wolf, bump into each other backstage. Tonight they're on opposite sides. And Wolf says, look, I don't want to hurt you. You're my brother. We've been through things. We've been through a lot. But you're my brother and I don't want to hurt you. And Dain says, listen, you do what you need to do. And I'm going to do what I need to do. Killian Dain making it clear that he wants the NXT UK Championship and nothing's going to stand in his way, even if it's someone who used to be his brother. Kaylee Ray cut a promo on Martina on her way to the ring for the tables matchup. 50 for this, pretty good stuff. Hyping the crowd, saying how she's going to put Martina through a table and retain her championship. The match itself then gets us a 34. Okay, not great. Not great, but it's fine. We'll move on. We'll keep going with it and it'll be fine. 34 for Kaylee Ray, 27 for Martina. And as you can see, Kaylee Ray wins and defends the title for the 5th time. It's okay. It could be worse. We wanted to add a stipulation in there to see if they can carry it through. Didn't really add much to it either. So it could have been worse, but could have been better as well. Backstage, the NXT UK champion is here. Volta cut a promo on Killian Dain actually and says the big man wants to get in Imperium's ring. Well, tonight, Imperium show him what this sacred mat is all about. 62 for a good promo from Volta. The main event then is Drake Maverick and Killian Dain against Wolf and Eichner. And it gets us a 62. Good main event then for NXT UK. That is pretty good, actually. Killian Dain and Drake Maverick get the victory. And Killian Dain pinned Alexander Wolf with a Belfast Blitz. I can say it. Well, Killian Dain getting the victory over Alexander Wolf there. There's some storyline to that, isn't there? Earlier he said he'll do what he has to do. And he's done it. And he's gone through his former brother. Drake Maverick was the best here, interestingly. 63 from Maverick. Killian Dain 52 though, not far behind. Eichner 41 and Wolf 28. Wolf is horrifically underrated on this, popularity wise. Former main roster star and his pop is like 15. That's wrong. Anyway, good main event. 62, good main event, but that's not all. 57 for the post-match angle as the UK champion makes his way out and a stare down with Killian Dain. These two hosses have got the NXT UK championship between them. And we are set for a mighty brawl between these two soon enough. Gives us a 56 rated NXT UK. I think that's pretty good. That is really good, actually. Good main event. Helps it big time, considering some of the other stuff in the show. I'm very pleased with that. And actually, it should be noted, it's our second best show we've ever had. Of course, that Brooks and Bate masterpiece for NXT UK anyway, 66, sort of helped us there. But that is very, very, very good. Okay, and finally, Friday Night Smackdown to end the week and to get us on the road to a pay-per-view weekend. 2 big matches already announced for tonight. 2 tag team matches. The New Day will take on the Artist Collective. And in the women's division, Bayley and Sasha may get their hands on each other. Sonya and Mandy round out the teams. None of those are your main event, though. I will tell you that much. So we'll go tonight. We'll open up with the New Day making their entrance. They cut a promo on the way to the ring for a 72. This is pretty good stuff. Big E, Kofi and Xavier are great at this type of thing, particularly together as the New Day. Yeah, good stuff. 6-man, ready to go against the Artist Collective. Hopefully it'll be a strong start to the show. And It is 74. Really good stuff, really. 62 from Xavier, Big E 67, Kofi 74, 70 from Sami, 69 from Cesaro, and Elias 61. The weakest of the lot, but still pretty good. 74. That is what you want to see. We knew we could do this big 6-man match. We've done it tonight, and it has been very good. Bayley could have promo on Sasha Banks for 48. Yeah, not great, but still okay. These two will hopefully sort of exceed expectations in game anyway to have the match we know they can have in real life. Be interesting. 48 though is okay. The Miz and Morrison are backstage. We said they could have promo, but actually they're plotting. They're coming together and coming up with a plan to take out Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan tonight. 72 for the first of a few backstage segments between these lot. The women's tag team titles were on the line for a 62 rated matchup. Just thought we'd get them on the show. I ain't really using them much. Get them on the show. Maybe it'll help the titles. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeat Carmella and Lacey Evans. What have they done to win it, to deserve a championship match? Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross get the win. 60 for Nikki, 58 for Alexa, 45 for Lacey, and 55 for Carmella. So Nikki the best of the lot, which is very interesting. Jeff Hardy was cutting a promo on Elias when Shorty G came over and said, listen, tonight, if they get involved in your matchup, I'll be here. I will have your back, Jeff, because nobody deserves to treat a legend like you like they do. And I won't stand for it. 61, Shorty G sort of aligning himself with Jeff Hardy tonight. The first bit of Miz's plan here, he comes to the ring, or he can do it backstage, and he challenges Daniel Bryan. He says, tonight, me and you, we are, well, bitter rivals, I guess is one thing they could call us, but I want to know who really is the better man tonight. One-on-one, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, and you can finally shut me up if you want to. The plan is working. 74. That match is made for the main event. The women's tag team match then. Bayley and Sonya defeat the women's champion Sasha Banks and Mandy Rose. Sonya pinning Mandy. Not pinning Sasha. Come on. 59 though. Really good considering Sonya and Sasha were both off their game. Sasha 60, the best of the lot. Bayley 56, Mandy 57, and Sonya 52. These four are probably the four top stars on the Smackdown brand. The rest are sort of lagging behind. So good stuff from all four women, really. 59, good stuff. Sami Zayn could have promo on Kofi, bragging about his victory earlier. Did I talk about that in that match? I'm not sure I did. Sami Zayn pinned Kofi Kingston in that 6-man tag earlier. He pinned his challenger for Sunday, and Zayn says on Sunday at SummerSlam, I'll do it again. And finally, the New Day will be dealt with by me, the artiste, Sami Zayn. 71, good promo from Zayn. Jeff Hardy was then in action against Sheamus, two sort of rivals this year in real life. 68 for this, pretty good. Jeff 63, 62 from Sheamus. Jeff was actually off his game, and you can sort of play into that if you want for the storyline, because you can say he's off his game because he's got his eye on the side, where he's expecting Elias, where he's expecting Cesaro. It doesn't come. Jeff Hardy gets the victory and gets the win, but as he's celebrating on the Titantron, he is interrupted by a beatdown backstage. Elias and Cesaro destroy Shorty G, Chad Gable, and leave him down and out. They taken down the man who says he will deal with them. He's the man that aligned himself with Jeff, and they don't like it. 53 is okay. Next week then, we've got this one confirmed. If Ali is fit enough, there's a thing to that. If he passes his medical, the ring workers, that's Mustafa Ali and Ricochet, will be teaming up against the glorious show-off, Dolph and Robert Roode, in a steel cage matchup. These two teams are rivals of sorts, at least lately, and they'll get to do it one more time, but inside a steel cage. 49, pretty good. Ahead of the main event, where it's The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, the main event matchup anyway, The Miz and Morrison are wheeling a cement truck, and they're blocking the door of Roman Reigns' locker room. Reigns won't be allowed out, meaning The Miz and Morrison have got Bryan perhaps to himself. We're doing that old-fashioned storyline. Deal with it. 75, pretty good stuff. The main event then, The Miz and Daniel Bryan will hopefully be a cracker. And it is a 77 rated main event. Really good stuff. Bryan 77, Miz 74. If they hit 77 at SummerSlam in that tag match, I'll be pleased with that. I'll say that now. The Miz was disqualified, though, when John Morrison ran in and attacked Daniel Bryan. It wasn't about the victory here. It wasn't about the result. It was about taking out Bryan, and they did that. A 2-on-1 attack in the ring for a 74 rated segment. Reigns is stuck in his locker room, but on Sunday, he'll be part of the matchup. Okay, before we go, though, there is one final main event segment. Last week, Bray Wyatt promised to be here, and he is here. He comes out to the ring for an 84 rated segment, and out comes Braun Strowman, and Bray says, Braun, my brother, you have shown me what you can do, and I am so, so proud of you. So, Braun, and Bray gets on his knees. He says, I give myself to you. Braun acts as if he is, I don't know, taken aback, but also taken in by it. And Braun himself gets to his knees, puts the Wyatt sort of arms out. Bray starts laughing. He's pleased. Bray gets to his feet. Bray turns his back to do this in front of the camera with Braun behind him. And Braun stands up. And Braun was playing a game. Braun is not done. Braun hits the choke slam, the reverse choke slam on Bray Wyatt. This is not the Fiend. This is Bray Wyatt. And takes the black sheet mask that was in the ring and burns it to signify that Braun is cutting ties completely with Bray Wyatt. And on Sunday, he will destroy him with the Universal Championship on the line. That's your Smackdown then. And a 78 rate Smackdown. Very, very good stuff. Not quite as good as recent weeks, but still pretty good. That main event helped and a good angle to end the show. We are rolling on. And SummerSlam should be a big one. Now, I'm not going to go through all the pay-per-view matches. You guys should know it by now. But what I'm going to say is a couple. We've got NXT TakeOver and we've got SummerSlam. So if you want to see Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, Sunday is your video. If you want to see Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship, The Fiend, anyway, Sunday is your video. Adam Cole versus Keith Lee for the NXT Championship. What am I going to do with it? Sunday is your video. Not just that. Sasha and Bayley. Before they done it, I'm doing it early. Sunday is your video. You get the point. Don't miss it. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss it. Thank you so much to all the people that listened last week. We just crossed 100 and I said maybe we can get to 110 subscribers. Well, you smashed it. 115. So I'm setting you a new target. You think we can get to 120? What will help though is likes on the video. So 10 likes on the video. Come on guys, you can do this. We're so close to a 10 like video. This could be the one. Make sure you don't miss out on Sunday. I am looking forward to it. Oh, until next time, peace.